Hi, I'm Matt Little. I'm the Director of Counselling and Education at Empowering Awareness.Asia, and I'm a proud sponsor of this podcast.
Hi, Rose.
How are you, Si?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you doing?
I'm fine. And it's been, I don't know, a couple of years since we did this last. So I'm looking forward to having a chat.
Thank you very much for giving me opportunity again and accepting to be on my show.
Yes, no, it's a pleasure. Always good having a chat with you. Like your
So
energy.
I can see you're continuing the great work that you're doing. That past couple of years ago, I have seen what all the work that the responsibilities that you are into, and I can see you're continuing the same. So I thought to reintroduce you to my new audience and tell about the work that you're doing and also
Yeah.
the advancements and the new things that you have done and you're doing and your future plans in this podcast.
Okay. Well, thanks for that. I'll tell you what's happening now. I know when we were speaking last, it was all starting to focus on. I mean, I've coached executives for 30 years, 25 years, I suppose, 25, 30. Um, but as I go, as I get older and greyer, the focus is more on the soul inspired coaching in the sense of helping leaders lead from within themselves, have their brain for tactics, but their heart for vision and the way they connect with people. So that's been where I've been moving towards, and that's worked pretty well. And it's really the way people think these days. The leadership comes from within. You don't operate in your head. What operates in your head is your ego quite often, and that doesn't work when you're a leader. A good leader doesn't operate with ego; it operates from within. So as that's moved, the emphasis has gone more on self-leadership. So I'm helping people, not necessarily leading others, but just leading themselves and being an influence on others. They don't have to be leading a team of people in the corporate life. They can just be the best version of themselves. And to me, that's leading yourself. And that's where it all starts. Because the good leaders that I've coached over the years and the not so good leaders that I've coached, the secret to the good ones is they lead themselves first. They have the discipline, they have the consistency to be able to lead themselves. And that's the key. Because if you can't lead yourself, you can't lead others. It's a delusionary experience if you try to. So that's where I've been moving towards. And I guess probably the latest thing I'm doing, I've just signed a deal with a publisher who wants to publish my book. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And the rationale behind that is that subject of leading yourself. And given I'm a grey-haired old man now, I've been around the traps for a long time, I've got a lot of little anecdotal experiences, particularly of coaching other leaders and just people in life that I can relate to and talk about. So that's what I'm going to be doing is talking, finalising a self-leadership book that's going to help people be better versions of themselves, I guess. So it's a lot of the experience I've had with others and myself. And it just, well, to me, it's just going to help you be a little friend as a book to work on things from yourself within. You know what I mean? It's just something you just want to connect with, and there'll be something in there you'll connect with, I'm sure. And that just helps you. And if that helps you one bit, one little step forward or two step forwards, then it's done its work. Because the key is that you've got to go in the right direction. It won't help you back. It won't send you backwards. It'll send you forward.
So to my new audience, can you tell about yourself? Can you introduce yourself?
I can introduce myself. Look, I had many years in financial services in corporate life as a regional head and so forth. And I went into executive coaching about 27 years ago would have been, and I was moving into that. Now the reason why I went there is because over the years in my corporate life, I worked with some really good leaders, and I worked for some that weren't so good. and I could just see the difference that it makes on people's lives. So when you've got a leader with a team of a few hundred or a few thousand or 20,000, um, the worse you are, the more it affects those lives of those people. So if you're a really good leader, they have a better life. They enjoy their work more, which means the whole family enjoys a better life. Because when you're not enjoying things, the family feel the effect. And that's why I always thought that I'm going to go to coaching and help people be better at leading, because I had a bit of an affinity in connecting with people and helping them do that where I was working. So I moved out and did it for myself. And when we last spoke, I was living in Singapore, because it was just a nice central spot to be. So I'm back in Australia now. So, it's just, to me, it's one of the most important things that I'm doing, that I can do, is just to help others be better versions of themselves. And in doing that, everyone around that sphere of influence has a better life.
So today you're watching and you're observing the international leadership, the technology leaders are working towards AI. So what's your take on it and how it's going on?
Oh, with AI, look, just like anything else, good leaders embrace those things. You don't embrace it as though it's going to be the answer to everything in your life. It won't make you a better leader. That's for certain. That comes from within you. So if something external doesn't help you be better, you can ask the AI some questions, and you might get some answers. But if it doesn't come from your heart, it's just an answer. You've got to have the discipline to do it. See, good leaders do the things that good leaders do. They have the discipline to keep doing it. As I said, lead themselves to do the good things. But as far as AI goes, you can't just ignore it or complain about it. You just got to go with the flow and say, now, how can I use this that's going to help me and my team be better? And if you keep looking for those things, then it will get better.
So what are those qualities that actually makes a person to be a great leader to make things work?
Well, I think that the first thing you've got to do is have the ability to connect with other people. At the end of the day, you've got to connect, but you've got to connect positively. There'll be some people who can connect, but it's on a negative way, and that doesn't help anyone, right? You just got to have positive connections with people. You're always looking to help people be better and to strive forward, to keep moving forward. But at the same time, unless you can do that yourself, you can't help others, because you have no idea. You have no idea to even do that. But when you're helping yourself and you lead yourself, you're going, oh yeah, this is all working in my life. This is happening, and I can see the advantage. I can do all it. Then you're helping others do the same thing. It's no different to anything. If you don't love yourself, you can't be in love with anyone else, because you don't know what it is. You can tell yourself, I am, but unless you feel it from the heart, you're not. You just think you've got to be, and that's why people who have some strained relationships at times first really have to look at themselves and their relationship with themselves. And so that comes back to that self-leadership. You've got to be happy with yourself and love yourself as a person, not to be arrogant, but love yourself as a person. There's a difference between arrogance and self-love. Arrogance means in your head you're better than others. That's when you're leading, when you're with yourself and you're just trying to be better at yourself, you don't care about others in that sense. You just want to be better as a person tomorrow than you are today. But you're not comparing it to be better than someone else. You just want to be better as a person. It's like an athlete. They're trying to win a race in the Olympics, right? They want to be better than anyone else in that race. But you ask any of them, they're just so happy they could come last, but they did their best time. See, that's competing with yourself. That's the key. As soon as you concentrate on everyone else and not yourself, then you lose. You've got to keep being better better as a person, as an athlete, sports person, cricketer, footballer. They keep striving to be better at what they do, not to be better at the person beside them.
So you are into corporate world for a long time. You have seen
Yep.
different leaders. You have interacted and you have trained. You have mentored.
Mm.
So what actually makes a leader to fail?
Sorry, I didn't quite get that last word.
Why
The
a
mate,
leader fails?
why the
Why?
leader failed is because they operate up here. It's usually they're usually brought down by their own by themselves. They bring themselves down. And if they complain that someone else has done this to them, that to that, that means they don't get it because everything comes back to you. It's like looking in a mirror. Yes, someone might have done something to you, but they did it because of your behaviour, generally speaking, right? And it's how then and if someone did do something to you had no control of, you still don't blame them. That's their problem. If you're good within yourself, you just move on. You just get on with life. You move employers, whatever. Like you do what you've got to do if it's best for you, um, but you don't go blaming others. Oh, they're the reason why I failed. No, they're not. They are who they are. You're the reason that you succeed or fail because people have been sacked at work and just get on with it. Next minute they bounce up somewhere else. See, it's all attitude. But so leaders fail because of the same thing. They've got the wrong attitude towards themselves for a start, and they want to compete. Their ego drives them forward. And in corporate life, it can be a problem because people want to compete, and that's the way years ago we wanted to. Used to hear people say, "Oh, I like my executives competing." Well, it might have sounded good, but it wasn't so smart. You want them working together because the combination one and one makes three. Not competing. That means they're competing individually, so it's only one. Like it's one versus one all the time. It doesn't add up into any collaborative value. See, now the world's seeing the beauty of collaboration. So the focus is on the doing of of the task rather than I'm going to be better than someone else here at this job. That doesn't work. So leaders fail because they use some of those old methods that are gradually eroding away.
Even though we know that ego is the solution, why you're not able to uh, understand that or try to make changes or we know that that is the thing which is creating the disturbance in order to the environment or the work. So why that is a problem? Why is a psychological thing or
I think you probably hit it on the head. There's a few reasons. It could be psychological. It could be deep-rooted behaviour. Um, let's say it's my parents taught me this is, or my father taught me this is how you manage. You got to lead, son. You got to, or lead my, well, particularly son. You got to lead this, right? This is the way you lead, and so it gets ingrained in them. And they find it very hard to get out of that. And I've had a few executives that really were a reflection of their parents in their upbringing, and some a reflection of when their first job, they could just see the culture, the way it works, and the only one to survive in that culture was to be just as toxic as the rest of the culture. And they thought that's the norm. So that's when they get a bit more senior. Most of them don't get that far, but when they do get senior within that culture, and they move to and I'm thinking of one particular executive in mind, went up a fairly good, went up the ladder fairly well. But the company he worked in had a toxic culture, and it was well known for that toxic culture. And the company was always sort of on the peripheral of being successful or highly successful. It wasn't. It was always coming. Just it was never the leading company, and people. So this guy moved to another company where I worked as a coach, and I worked there as a coach because the company had an attitude we want to grow our people. So people were wanting to move there, so they're attracting all the good people. So this guy pops up, and he started to lead like he was the way he thought he could lead. He shouldn't be leading, based on his father, who was some Used to teach him that's the way you lead. He was in the military. He wasn't that seen in the military because the military are pretty smart when it comes to these things these days. But that was his perception. Anyway, he started, and he had big problems because he was bringing his toxic values into a company that doesn't wear that. So I had a couple of weeks to turn him around. Now we did that because deep down in his heart he wanted to be a good leader. But all the programming he had, we had to work really hard to get that changed. Some can't change it, but inside him, his little heart was just tweeting something, just enough to make him want to try and do it. Because it's funny, Sai, is that when you ask a leader, for example, so how do you want to be described as a leader? If I went out and asked anyone on your team, what do you want them to be saying? I've never had anyone say I want to be known as an absolute so-and-so and everyone hates me. Like I've never, there'll be people out there that think that's good, but not many. And they don't succeed. So they write nice things. And I say, well, okay, that's, what are you going to do every day in your life, particularly at work, day in, day out? Well, what you've got to do in order for those people to describe you the way you want. Because there's no magic wand. There's no fairy running around saying, oh, it's just magic, and look how they're going to describe you. They will not describe you that way unless you do it. So then that's how we work with him. He just worked out how he wanted to be described as a leader. And we worked out what he had to do. Oh, God, it was hard for him. But he started by apologising to everyone. He had about 100 staff. He apologised individually to people. That was the start. But then he had to really work at it. And it took him a bit. He faltered back because he'd getting old habits. But eventually he changed because he wanted to be and describe the way that he wanted to be described. So discipline, see, self-leadership. He led himself out of the darkness into the light.
So leadership is everywhere, in every field, in every industry, in every country, in whole humanity. So who is leader? Like what a leader is. In the previous answer that he was giving, who actually called as leader? A person or an individual who is good with people, like who is a people's person, or an individual who has a lot of experience in communication, like communicating with a lot of different people, diversified people, or how can we consider this person is a leader, and how can you know how
Yeah.
can how can experts like you uh, create or generate a new leaders from the next generation?
Well, a leader's not by name, it's by through action. And basically, I think a leader is just someone who can help other people move forward. Now, if it's in a corporate life, it's helping them move forward towards the corporate vision or whatever. It could be just you're a natural leader in your cricket team because you can, whatever you say and do, it motivates the players around you and they move forward. You're not even the captain.
Yeah.
But when you say something, people, oh, gee, and they'll do something. And that's a leader, right? You don't have to have a title. And so some of the captains and some of the corporate people are there for all sorts of reasons. You're the captain of the cricket team because you're the best batsman or bowler, usually batsman. But it doesn't mean say you're a leader of people. But the ones who excel are the ones who are good at what they do, but they know how to lead and get the best out of people. And that's the key. And some of the best, say, cricket captains, for example, have not been the best cricketers. Some have been, but others haven't been. But they're the ones who know how to get the best out of people. So they have the best team. So you want a team of champions. You want a champion team, and the leader gets you the champion team. And that's no different than corporate life.
Understanding different mindsets, working with different people who are thinking differently, and making them to come to a single point and make them to agree that, or uh, what kind of a personality that makes a leader to make everyone to come together and work for
Okay.
certain thing.
It's interesting. I guess originally, often people say they've got to have the charisma because they can articulate and communicate. And some of the worst leaders I know have got a lot of charisma. Yes, because they can communicate and articulate. The trouble is they're not communicating what should be communicated, and they're not articulating what should be articulated. So, in other words, yes, you can have charisma, but the key is you've got to be able to connect. Now, you could be very strongly introverted, but you know how to connect. So when you say something, people listen. You don't have to be the greatest talker, but a very good communicator. And the best communicators are the best listeners. They're not the best talkers necessarily. They could be, but the key is they listen and they connect with people and they show the empathy for those people. They're the best leaders. And then whatever comes next will come. But so when it comes to personality, if they're a very good listener and they have empathy for people, that's usually common denominators for a good leader. And to me, to be a good listener, you've got to have good empathy. If you don't have empathy for others, then you don't tend to listen. You're more focused on listening, think about what you're going to say next rather than listening to what someone's saying. You're thinking about what smart ass comment you're going to say next, right? Like in those things, right? The key is they listen. They don't say that much necessarily. They have to if they're up speaking in front of a crowd or a group, their team, yes, but they're not someone who just goes around and likes the sound of their own voice because they're listening. They're listening to what the team has to say.
So, in your experience, I'm sure you might have seen a lot of leaders and um leadership. So, you know what actually worked for leaders to get to succeed or to make things happen. So, in your complete experience, in your professional and your complete life experience, uh, to continue this to the next level or to the next generations. So with all those experiences, what all you can give to people like who will be listening this from anywhere in the world, what all that that collection that you have that will help people to uh, succeed as a
Yeah,
leader.
well, I know what you're saying, and it's hard because I'm not connecting with everyone, right, to help them. But the one thing I can leave you with is if you look at it, and this back again,
Yeah, right. So you are giving answer for the previous question.
yes, and that was how you can be better at leading yourself, how better you
Yeah,
can be a leader. Yeah. So do you want me to start that answer again?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Well, so at the end of the day, I can't be with everyone, and they can't be with other people helping them at times. The thing starts with themselves, and it's just simply what I was mentioning to you before. If you want to be, and it doesn't have to be the best leader, it could be just how do I want to be described as a husband? How do I want to be described as a wife or a partner? How do I want to be described as a leader if you wanted to, or as a father or a mother? And then you write that out, and then you just sit now. What have I got to do every day in my life in order for people to describe me that way? What are the key things I've got to do? And it's usually only 3 or 4 things, the big key things. And once you do that, or just so disciplined to do it day in and day out, then you will achieve by being described that way. And that puts you in it, to me, as a leader, because you're influencing people. Because you don't write down, I want to be the worst influence of people. You write down something positive. The fact is, people are seeing you in the way that you want to see them. And to me, that's the start of being a good self-leader. You're living the life of being the person that you want to be. And that's the key to everyone in life. And it makes everyone so much happier if they're leading the life that they want to be. But they'll have all sorts of excuses, all sorts of reasons why they could, I would have done that, but this happened. No, you can do it. Yes, you might have to change the context, but you can still be a really good person even if you're earning $1 a week. That doesn't stop you being a good person. No different. $1 million a week doesn't stop you being a good person because you have to do what good people do. That's basically it, right? So if you can do that to manage to lead your life, you write down how you want to be described as a partner, whoever it is, and you'll find they're very similar. You can have a couple of different things, they're very similar, right? The context may change a little bit, but if you do those and work out what you've got to do to be described that way, and keep doing it 24 hours a day, every day of the year, and you'll get there. And see, the more you're getting closer to getting there, the more you'll do it because you're starting to get in the habit and the discipline to be able to do these things. And you'll see a difference in people, the way they treat you. Because, as I said, they're all positive words. You don't write down, I want to be treated badly. No one does that. So it's amazing how it compounds because then it all works and people pat you on the back rather than banging you over the head with a stick. It's just that because you're doing the right things so that improves your discipline and it just grows and grows from there. But that's how you got to start. You start by leading yourself. That's what it all comes
So
down to.
change is constant. Change is the only thing in the
Mm,
universe which is constant.
mm.
How to adapt to change and how a leader will or need or how important it is for a leader to be adopted to the change.
Well, you've got to just go with the change. It's like going through the flow of life. Now, if the change is not good change, not every change is good. People just assume it's a change must be good. There are times when it probably isn't, but most times it is, right? And you've got to look for the good. Where is the good here? And then you work with the good aspects of whatever's changing. Because like anything, there's good and bad with everything. You just got to look for the good. What's the positive end? Just no different with AI. You got to look for the positive things, then work with the positive things. Not looking at the negative things and just focusing on that, because that will happen. So you focus on the positive things, and therefore you'll get the positive outcomes from it. It's no different. Everything in life, you focus on the positive. And it's funny. It's never seen an ultra successful negative person.
So finally, what is difference in a leader who is a successful and a leader who is not successful?
Well, I think they're against those things, like they connect with people, they do all that. But I think if you want to come down to that one thing, they're disciplined in a positive way. They have positive discipline and they have positive self-discipline. So the whole life is working towards being positive, and they're the discipline to do that.
But
So
what about
if you go out today and say, oh, I'm going to be negative today, it's not going to work so well for you.
but
Hmm.
but eventually a leader is a people's person. He's going to listen and he's going to interact. He's going to communicate
Yeah, that's
with
right.
different kind of people. Even though
Yeah.
if it is within uh, all the people that he is interacting may or may not speak that he likes or he doesn't like, or the not necessary every time the thought process of the leader matches with the team. So um, even though, as you have said about in the leader's perspective how a leader should be and what all leader need to have, but in order to become a good leader, the whole team makes a leader to be a leader or to be a great leader. So eventually team decides. Team's work and team's
Mm.
contribution is really important, and to see a leader to do the right things, even though the leader have a great communication skills and great understanding skills and listening skills and progressive mindset and growth mindset, and as you said, showing the direction. The leader is the one who actually goes first and tells the team to come next.
Mm.
So he's standing before them. So if team is not listening to him, if team is not cooperating, and if team is not that great in making the leader to implement his ideas or his thoughts, how it is going to be, and is that not challenging for leader? How
Hmm.
can a leader going to handle this?
Well, it's
Because
yeah,
yeah,
I know what you're saying. It is challenging, but then again, leadership wasn't easy. So if you're giving that example, then there again, as a leader, you can't blame the people who you're leading. It's up to you to sort that out. Now, either you can lead them down the path and they improve their performance because that they can now see what they're contributing and the value they're doing, so they get happier and they get more energized, or you move them on. Because there's always people in there they're a square peg in a round hole. They just don't fit. Well, good leaders help them find another spot that might fit them better. Not just chuck them out and they're gone, but move them out. And to me, you're moving them out in a positive way. Or to take the easy way and say, oh, you're sacked, or they get HR to do it, and then that's it. And that's fine. If you've got thousands of people, you can't talk to everyone individually. But at the end of the day, you've got to make sure that they're moved out in the right way. That's good for them. So the moving is not positive for them, but it'll end up positive because you're moving out in a positive way. I mean, easier said than done, but I've seen it done. I've seen most good leaders do it. That's what the way they do, right? I mean, if they're in charge of 300,000 or a couple of million people, very hard, but you set the culture that people need to be onboarded, but also outboarded in the right way, where all the help is offered. That's their choice to take that help, but we've got it here for you. You can't make people do everything, right? So there'll be some people go that are bitter and twisted, but that's their choice. You can't change it for them all, right? You can lead the horse to water, you can't make it drink.
so where people can able to find you and see the work that you're doing online in the
Well,
internet.
it's my website's down because I'm redeveloping everything because I'm the focus more is more so on basically writing the book and the services around the book. So something will come out soon, but the key is just on LinkedIn. So that's just Ross Swan, Australia. I don't know what my LinkedIn address is. Goes out of my head. There's got so many addresses. Where are we? I'll tell you. Um, just to be on the safe side, right? I'll just do that. But yeah, look, if people want to reach out to me, they just reach out on LinkedIn. Send me a message on LinkedIn. That's probably the best thing. And
Can you
it's
spell it?
Ross Swan. It's just linkedin.com.in ROSSSWAN 1. That's Ross Swan 1.
Great. I'll put the link on the screen, and also
Yeah.
I'll put the link in my website as well.
It just
People who
they're quite
find
happy. Yeah. If they just send me a message, that's more than happy for that.
uh, 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 I'll people who find this podcast or interview in anywhere in the internet can able to find it on the video or in
Yeah.
in my website.
Great. Thanks, Si.
They can
Yeah.
able to see and
Mm.
can able to see the work that you're doing, and can able to follow what you're doing and what you're working on.
That's right. Thank you. That'll be good. But that's it. Like it all comes back to you as the individual. No one else can. People can support you, but they can't do it for you.
Correct.
And the more people do things for you, the less the less you're relying on everyone else to make your life a success or happy, and that doesn't work. That's how you get bitterly disappointed. The key is just be the best you can be and be happy with what you're doing. And as I said, write out how you want to be described and just live those behaviours, and you'll get there.
Totally agreed, Ross. What's your observation about my work?
Your
You
work,
have
look,
seen.
as I said, I always like the energy, so that's why I'm on here for the second time. I just like your enthusiasm. and you're giving things a crack. You're doing a podcast, giving it a crack, giving it a try, and that's key. I mean, that's the key to anything. If you feel in your heart you want to be doing it, then you do it,
So
and then you have your own definition of what you want to achieve with it. Then you just keep working towards that.
I've been interviewing experts like you from everywhere in the world, and who are coming from different backgrounds, having completely different experiences,
Yeah.
coming from diversified uh, experiences
Mm.
from completely different countries. So me as a human being, I myself a software engineer. I'm a software guy.
Mm.
I did masters in software engineering
Mm.
and a bachelor's in computer science and engineering. That's my right now. I'm working as a DevOps engineer for a London company
Yep.
remotely from India. So apart from that, that's my professional role. Apart from that, I'm trying to communicate and trying to explore the minds of different human
Mm.
beings who are thinking in different ways and who are making things happen, who are changing things, who are change makers, who are doing something positive to the world. So me interacting to them constantly from years and interviewing the leaders,
Mm.
as you are mentor, and as you teach or you uh, train leadership. I am interacting directly with the leaders, company CEOs. Like my interviews are completely chief
Mm.
executive officers, founders, chief fractional officers, chief operational officers,
That's good.
uh, business leaders.
Yeah.
Business.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, I'm trying to interact and trying to talk with leaders who are into business side of the technology, and also the people who are working on the engineering side of the technology, the
Mm.
business. So, what I'm going to learn from all these leaders
Yeah.
from their
A lot.
experiences.
You're going to learn a lot, and that's it. And that's it. See, look, you're doing something positive for the world because you're attracting people, interviewing them on positive message with positive messages. I mean, at the end of the day, that that's your input to the world. I'm collecting this and sending it out through my podcast. Now, you mightn't have 1 billion or 3 billion people listening to your podcast. Doesn't matter. You may do one day, but at the end of the day, you're adding value to the world. And in your own heart, that's right.
Yeah.
Back again. Take
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. So yeah, to end this conversation, like this feedback means a lot to me. You was telling about the observation about my work and how the interviews that I'm doing with the leaders from all over the world
Yeah.
who already have their own impact, who created their own impact, and who created a lot of wealth, and uh, who is working for different entities, different businesses, especially from United States, UK, Australia, New Zealand, from Switzerland. I'm trying to interact with diversified
Mm-hmm.
countries and trying to know how businesses are working and how they are making their product or their service to work in the market. So I'm trying to know and trying to put it from completely not connected people. I'm bringing them to my show
Mm.
who
Look,
have
it's
no connection
yeah.
with each other.
That's good. Look, and at the end of the day, as I was saying, it's if you can contribute and add positive to the world, doing something positive to the world. So you're giving something to the world. You're not taking it away, right? You're giving. And the key,
Yeah.
all good leaders give first. If they start by wanting to take first, they're not good leaders and they'll never be good leaders. There are, but the fact you give first, you're a giver, then you'll be known as a good leader. But that's the start of being a good leader. It's the mindset. And here you are, you've got your day-to-day job, but you're adding value, you're spending time in collecting people like myself from all over the world, and then interviewing them and then spreading their message across the world. Now you're doing them a favour, but you're doing all the people who listen a favour. You're adding value, and that's to me that's why I'm here talking and speaking, because I like the energy of people who are giving something to the world, not wanting to take it away, not thinking the world owes them a life. You've got to contribute to the world and add your life and the value of your life and purpose to the world. That's how I see it. It's adding value, not taking it away. And you're adding value, which is good. That's
So
good.
this question that I'm sure you are the right person to answer this. I'm. What do you think that is working for me in order to make connections with these leaders? There must be some quality which is making me to. Uh,
But it's the mere fact that you're asking people. It's funny. If you have an attitude of I won't ask them what they won't talk, they won't respond, then they won't, right? Because you haven't asked them. The key is you ask people. First step, I asked. That's what you did. You asked me several years ago, can you come on? Then you got a big
yeah,
bright smiley face as though you're happy. So if you're surly, angry looking face, I probably don't want to be on that show. But here he is, a smiley face. There's good. So come on. I'll add, he's trying to add value to the world. I'll give him some help. That's what I'm doing, right? So you just keep doing that. Now, one day it might grow into a massive show, but even if it doesn't, you're adding value to the world. But it'll lead you somewhere. If you feel in your heart this is like what you like to do, it will add value, and therefore something will add value to do at some point. As you get older, you're only a young man, so you got plenty of time. The key is to be just patient, enjoy your life, and you can keep adding it value. It will repay you at some point. It'll repay you in a lot of points, but depends what you're looking for will happen.
it means a lot to me. Your
Mm.
valuable words, Rose. Again, thanks for your patience. And even though the internet connectivity is not good and my phone battery is not good, you are still cooperative and your commitment is excellent. This shows how inspiring you are. Keep doing the work that you're doing and keep inspiring people like us to make things happen. And I mean, keep helping more individuals. I'm sure because of you, the planet gets a lot of contribution and a lot of people, change the world in a positive way because of your presence and because of your impact.
Yeah, thank you. But I'm happy to contribute. I'm always happy to help people who can help themselves. You're out there doing something positive, so I'll help you along the way. That's the key.
Thank you, sir. Again, take care.
That's all right. My pleasure. See you,
Bye,
sir.
sir.
Until next time.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Thanks, Si.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.